We are right now facing a situation where our economy is going through heavy inflation, our supply chain costs are going up, the price of oil is at $90. What does that mean? That means that our energy costs are not going to come down, our projects are going to be more unviable. So we have to look at solar, we have to look at wind, we have to look at renewables. We don't produce any greenhouse gases. Our economic output is so small, we're less than 1% of greenhouse gas emissions. But we are the most vulnerable.
There is an enhancement of the corporate governance to recognize that climate change challenges are so huge that we need to have effective recognition at the corporate level of the environment, social safeguards and governance.
We have found that we have good policy frameworks in Pakistan on climate, on renewable energy, we have concessional finance available. Our challenge is there are not enough people willing to put up those projects. For Pakistan, infrastructure is important, whether it comes in the form of private sector or it comes in the form of public sector. Our requirements are 9 to 10% of GDP. We are only able to spend about 2% of GDP on our entire infrastructure needs. So that means that we are just building up a gap that gets wider and wider every year.
To actually get people out of poverty, you have to build infrastructure.
And by infrastructure we mean, physical infrastructure, roads, but we're also thinking about renewable energy, telecoms, communication.
You can't get people out of poverty if they don't have access to roads, access to communications, access to green energy, access to water. And that's another area. Water is becoming a real focus area, particularly with climate change.
It means more floods in the future, more droughts in the future. Our entire agri-economy could be at stake here. Our food supplies could be at stake here. So we have a lot to lose if we don't look at things in a sustainable way.
It's so important if we're building infrastructure that we do that correctly at some of the best-in-class health, safety and environmental standards.
We're mandated to alleviate poverty, but we're also mandated to deliver impact, so deliver project benefits. And we cannot deliver sustainable development impact if we are not protecting the people, the workers and the communities working on and living around and using that infrastructure.
Labour management, health and safety, occupational health and safety, social impacts, the environmental impacts, the security impacts, all under one framework.
So as a business owner, as a factory owner, I need to be thinking about these things today, because these are not small projects. To set up a renewable energy project is a 3-4 year exercise.
One of the major challenges that we come across, we're told time and time again, good HSES practice is not possible in Pakistan. It's not done here. You'll find this difficult. And to that we say, we've worked here since 2013. We've closed 6 transactions. That means 6 companies have met best international HSES practice. And it has been done and it can be done.
We see ourselves as active investors, not passive. We don't just tick the boxes, ensure there's some legal rubric in the documentation and we're happy when we move on. It's about helping our projects and our partners that we support on that journey.
And we acknowledge companies are at different stages in their HSES journey. So we understand where they are in that journey and what support they need to get to where we need them to be.
To build a strong health and safety culture, it comes from leadership from the top and making sure that the message is set by the leaders at board level.
We have a strong focus on capacity building, so we'll proactively work with our companies to raise embed, instill and improve their HSES governance and culture.
Everyone is held to account in the end. So it's really, really important that you bring the governance to Pakistan and you help Pakistan raise the standards.
It's not just Pidge, but all of the other DFIs and even the private banks are now seeing ESG as a non-negotiable key element of their investment, and tying in that, as well as pricing, one of the main requirements of their involvement in projects.